Let's talk about Harry and William, the brothers. There are reports that they could possibly meet to mark the 30th anniversary of the death of their mother, Princess Diana, next year. The brothers are understood not to have spoken in person since the late Queen's funeral, and that was back in 2022. The Diana Award charity is believed to be orchestrating a series of events to commemorate the 30th anniversary of Diana's death in 2027 next year. Well, Christo, it was only, 2 weeks ago Harry was in the UK. The brothers didn't even see each other. They didn't speak despite the reunion between Harry and the King. I mean, obviously, 30 years it will mark next year. That will be a huge, momentous occasion. I just wonder, though, how the brothers will ever get together, because by all accounts, William wants nothing to do with his wayward brother.
He wants absolutely nothing to do with him because the one thing about William, and I think that I've got really high hopes for William because William gets it. The late Queen gets it. King Charles, I love King Charles, but I think that sometimes he gets a little bit influenced. But definitely Queen Elizabeth, who was exemplary, got this. It is all about the protection of the crown. And any time there is scandal, like Andrew, any time there are grenades thrown about racism, about any of these sorts of things, they all undermine the integrity of the crown. And that is something I think that William absolutely understands, that he is the protector, he is the steward of that going forward. And unfortunately, I think he sees Harry as poisonous when it comes to that. And if the death of the late Queen Elizabeth can't bring them together, because of course you're absolutely right, that's the last time that they were seen with each other, well then I don't know what event possibly can. Now, will they pay lip service to it, stand in front of a monument of Diana and sort of smile for the cameras? Possibly, but I can absolutely guarantee you that there won't be huge, long discussions, no make-up dinners, none of that sort of stuff, because Harry to William is an irritant, and William, his entire raison d'etre, the entire reason he is on this earth is the protection and the stewardship of the crown. And Harry is something that has undermined that. And imagine that being your life and knowing that the person that could have been closest to you has actually been the person that has tried to jeopardize that for you. And I'm not sure that's something William will ever forgive.
30 years after Princess Diana's passing, could the moment that forever changed two young princes also become the event that finally brings them back together? As speculation grows over a possible reunion between Prince William and Prince Harry, one question remains. Is this the beginning of reconciliation or simply another royal moment filled with hope but little progress? Some dates carry far greater emotional weight than others, and the 30th anniversary of Princess Diana's death is undoubtedly one of them. Diana wasn't just a global icon. She was the emotional center of William and Harry's childhood. Milestone anniversaries often encourage families to reflect on shared memories rather than lingering disagreements. Even after years of public tensions, occasions centered on a loved one's legacy can create opportunities for quiet conversations that wouldn't happen under ordinary circumstances. However, symbolic events don't automatically erase years of fractured trust. Rebuilding relationships usually happens away from cameras, through consistent private communication rather than public appearances. While many royal watchers hope for reconciliation, the obstacles remain significant. Over the past several years, interviews, documentaries, and Harry's memoir have transformed what was once private family conflict into an international story. That creates a unique challenge.
Well, it's the ultimate betrayal. You could never possibly trust Harry again after everything that he's done and continues to do. At every opportunity, he still undermines the royal family, yet has this deluded belief that he's still a member of the royal family. I don't know what goes through the spare's mind, but I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
And I think you're right, and I don't blame him, but also I don't know whether, and I'm going to say this carefully, you would consider Harry to be the most stable of the members of the royal family. I mean, I'm still traumatized from reading his autobiography, where he was talking about when he had a conversation with Courtney Cox's rubbish bin, and the rubbish bin answered back. I mean, the bin answered back. He had a conversation with Courtney Cox's bin. And so, you know, and I think there were a few mind-altering moments, shall we say, within that conversation. But yeah, that is in the book. I mean, he also said that he went down to the rocks and had a conversation with the moon. moon, and the moon spoke back to him as well. And so, I mean, who knows what would end up in the book,
Well,
in the next book, if he ends up having a chat with William.
well, actually, I want to get to his book in a minute, but we can't forget as well when he told us all about his oscillating penis, Christo. We can't forget that line as well.
You know, I used to love Elizabeth Arden cream. I really did. It used to be such a lovely thing to put on your lips. And then, of course, if you'll remember in the book, he used it he had frostbite in his nether region. And so he put it down there in order to relieve it. And weirdly as well, you know, and this does bring us back to why we're talking about this. One of the things he then says in the book is, oh, when I was applying it, it made me think of my mother. She always used to use it as lip balm.
Oh, God,
I mean,
I can't deal.
I'm no expert on tributes to Diana, Princess of Wales, but I really don't think that was the one that she was hoping for.
That is definitely not the one she was hoping to be remembered by, the Elizabeth Arden cream downstairs. I think that she would be horrified by that. Well, let me ask you about this, actually, because there have been reports that maybe Harry is possibly interested in doing a second spare 2.0, spare us, I think. But, you know, him and Meghan, they've got all these legal troubles. So this financial troubles, of course. So they've got no money. And now we've got award-winning journalist Paula Frolic. She told News 24 that the Duke is considering a follow-up, Spare 2, and that, you know, this is how they're going to get their next payday. Oh, goodness me. Look, it wouldn't surprise me. I've got to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me, Christo, if he did go down this path. And I was worried during his UK visit that he was there to collect information when he was catching up with the King and the Queen. But goodness me, spare us, surely.
Any future meeting would likely carry enormous expectations from both the public and the media. Every gesture, every photograph, or even the absence of one would be analyzed for clues about the state of their relationship. Because of that pressure, both brothers may prefer to keep any meaningful conversations entirely private, avoiding headlines that could overshadow the personal significance of remembering their mother. Perhaps the most interesting aspect isn't whether William and Harry appear together, it's what Diana has self-represented. Throughout her life, she emphasized compassion, empathy, and putting people before protocol. History has shown that royal relationships can evolve over time, often when public attention has shifted elsewhere. Whether this anniversary becomes a turning point or simply another chapter remains to be seen. If William and Harry do reunite, it could become one of the most emotionally significant royal moments in years. But the bigger question isn't whether they'll stand side by side for a ceremony, it's whether they are ready to rebuild the bond they once shared. What do you think? Could Diana's 30th anniversary finally open the door to reconciliation? Or has too much happened for that to become reality? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more thoughtful royal coverage.
Well, I don't know what else he could complain about. What else is in there? I mean, again, there were so many things in the original Spare book that were just, and I think we discussed this last time about having the small bedroom in Sandringham. I mean, you're in a royal palace. I mean, most people would be happy to be in the palace, but you've got the smallest bedroom. So, you know, there was strange things that he focused on. But you're absolutely right. And this is where I think William and, of course, let's not forget Princess Catherine are particularly smart, because they know that there is always this risk now that they are scouting for material. Anything that they do, let's not forget the foreword of Spare was from the funeral of Prince Philip. He went in when he was the first opening chapters of Spare. He speaks about the Queen lying in state in Balmoral. This is really, really personal, intimate stuff, and these are conversations and things that were not for public consumption. So you're absolutely right. Are they gathering material for a new book? And there is always that risk as well, where you know you say to Harry or to Meghan, you know, oh, morning, how are you? Isn't it a lovely day? Oh, you're racist.
Yes.
You know, that's basically what, you know, that's always the risk, isn't it? You know, why did you say that the day was a nice day and that it was light? Why aren't you saying it's dark? You're racist. You know, that is always this risk that they are going to try and create some sort of drama from innocent comments, which we saw with the Oprah interview. And because of the royal family, the nature of the royal family, they cannot respond in the kind of way that they would want to. And that is always the risk with Harry. I'd have him sign an NDA I've always said that actually it'd be very nice if Harry could go and see Prince Charles, but I would have the palace sign him, have him sign an NDA that anything that goes on behind palace doors while he's there, you've got to sign to say that you're never going to reveal it.
Yeah, because he's a liability. You just wouldn't trust him at all. So, no, I agree. Sign an NDA if you want to see us, fine. That's not a problem. But you have to sign first just to cover all bases. I'm with you all the way. Christo, before we let you go, I've got to get your reaction to this. So, Meghan, her appearance on Australian MasterChef has just aired. And as if the show couldn't get any worse, that particular episode, Harry gets on the phone mid-episode. Have a look at this.
We've had a phone call to the studio.
Hi, my love.
Good
Hi. My husband's here.
Oh, Christo, please. Seriously, what the heck?
I mean, I really don't think that, bearing in mind it's MasterChef, the sick bucket probably shouldn't be on hand. I'm sorry, but I'm like, the thing is, right, it's so contrived. Are we honestly expected to believe that it was just, oh my word, it just coincidence? I just happened to be in the MasterChef studio. Oh, my husband's given me a call. Do you remember during the Netflix documentary when Meghan was doing an interview to camera and then suddenly, oh, sorry, Beyonce's on the phone. Oh, God,
Yes.
sorry. Oh, I had no idea that she was going to call. Oh, Beyonce, what? Oh, how inconvenient that Beyonce's on the line. I mean, what a load of nonsense. And suddenly as well, the production team are able to bring up Harry's face, like they can just connect to that phone immediately because it was a completely unplanned moment. I mean, what a load of old rubbish. But of course, Meghan is smart enough to know that she's not the A-list act there. It is Harry. That's the one that they want. That's the one that is actually the royal connection. So she's smart enough to know that is. But what a climb down. MasterChef, and you've got to get Harry to call. I mean, what next? I mean, are they going to be doing Big Brother? The real Housewives of Sussex.
Oh, God, spare us, please. Christo, please spare us from that. Oh, good, great. Well, they'll do anything for $1, as we know. So let's, not counting that one out. That's